Now, the ABC Ipsos poll shows that her favorability rating is now at 43%, and that is up from 35% a week ago. So she went up 8 points in a week. I think we all know why. Watching the media coverage of her, she hasn't said or done much. It's, a relief that Biden's gone and a celebration of the prospect of winning by the media and the Democrats, but I repeat myself. And just to give you a flavor for, where the enthusiasm numbers are, here's Harry Enton, the data guy, over on CNN with a report that Democrats will love. Saw 20.
The Democrats were suffering from low enthusiasm, so enthusiastic about voting. So this is Democrats for Biden or Harris. Look at this. Back in February, just 62% of Democrats said they were enthusiastic about voting for Joe Biden. Look at this now. Woof. Up to 88% now say that they are enthusiastic about voting for Kamala Harris. That is a huge jump. That is a 26-point jump. Look at Trump during the same stretch. Republicans for Trump. It was 80% in February. Look, it's still fairly high at 82%. But compared to February, where Trump had this 18-point advantage, now we see Harris with a 6-point advantage. It's definitely for Democrats. Game on. They are very enthusiastic. We see it in the money being raised. We see it in the volunteer sign-ups. And now we're seeing in the polling as well.
So her favorability went up 8 points, and the enthusiasm within the Democratic Party for their nominee went up 26 points. And that's what Harry Enton is responding to and what we're seeing, why we're seeing the Democrats so gleeful, Shelby, in their reporting about this. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I think, the Trump campaign came out last week with actually what I think was a pretty good point, which is, they sort of described this as the Harris honeymoon. And I think there is an argument to be made that Democrats were so relieved to have Joe Biden off the ticket and so relieved to sort of have a reset that is playing into these vastly different numbers and this big jump that we're seeing. Now, the question is, does that continue, right? So I think the next few weeks, those sorts of polling is going to be really interesting to see once Harris is out on the campaign trail, once the Trump campaign has really solidified what their attacks are going to be against her. That's what I'm looking at more so than these early sort of polling numbers, because I do think that being relieved has played a role in all of this.
I mean, it's like, you get the new boyfriend or girlfriend and they seem so attractive and you didn't think they were into you, but they are into you. They start calling again and you have this feeling of euphoria. You're like, yay. And then, a few months into it, sometimes the bloom comes off that rose and you realize, it's not that great. So that's what the Trump campaign is hoping will happen with her, because the voters kind of know her already. The Dems are feeling relieved. Now, Tara, here is a word of caution from the Wall Street Journal in that reporting that I just referenced. They say, because the poll was done by a GOP pollster and a Dem pollster who work together, so I like that kind of a poll. And he said, look, be careful not to feel overly optimistic if you're a Democrat. And he said, back in July 2020, so, exactly 4 years ago, the Wall Street Journal national polling had Biden leading Trump by 9 points. And Biden leading Trump in August by 11 points. Now, Biden would go on to win that race in a very tight race. Yeah. I mean, it was very tight. A couple tens of thousands of votes made all the difference in that race, even though the polling was showing him 11 points ahead of Trump. Right now, that poll is showing Trump ahead. And his conclusion is that Trump is still in a far better position in this election when compared to 2020. Good caution?
I would agree with that. I mean, I've been saying this all along. Trump is historically always underpolled. At no point in 2020 was Trump ever polling ahead of Joe Biden. And in the end, he only won by 140,000 votes he only lost over 140,000 votes in a number of states, battleground states. So I think there is a lot of momentum. I think there is a lot of enthusiasm. And like you said, it's a shiny new toy and that tends to wear off. If Trump has any luck, then it will wear off before the next 3 months, because she has such a short campaign. It's harder to really make a lasting impact on who this person is, on who Kamala Harris is, defining her as quickly as possible. But I think the Trump campaign should ultimately be worried, because it looks like he is running against a generic Democrat, and that is not what they want right now. If they can define her as a liberal Democrat from San Francisco, failed California, senator then, they have a chance, but they don't have a lot of time and they have to act quickly. And they really haven't been up much anyway with advertising, but you see them now mobilizing. And I think, she's going to get good press, and that's hard.
She certainly
is
press
for a while. Yeah.
And it's not going to be honest press. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if anybody, like, to define her as anything other than a liberal San Francisco politician is dishonest. I mean, that's just what her record shows up until recently, when it started getting scrubbed off the internet, literally getting scrubbed, where she'd been dubbed to be the most liberal senator in the U.S. Senate, more than Bernie Sanders, more than Elizabeth Warren, at the end of her term. She didn't have any more time to serve. And now it's been scrubbed to say that's not true. Okay, sure. There's more data suggesting that even in the critical swing states, it's looking better for her, for the Democrats, I should say, than it was. This is Fox News polling, and it's showing now Harris and Trump neck and neck in Michigan, where they're currently tied at 49 each. Minnesota, where she's up, according to this poll, 6 points over Trump. That had been tighter when it was Biden. Pennsylvania, where they're tied 49 and 49. Wisconsin, where he's up by 1 point. All of this is within the margin of error. So the numbers had looked much better for Trump when it was Biden, where back in April, Biden and Trump, yes, they were still tied in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, but in Michigan, a blue state Michigan, he was 3 points behind Trump, 46 to 49. And so you are seeing, even in those blue wall states, that right now sort of conventional wisdom is switching. It's switching. I'll stick with you on this, Tara, to, well, she might not do that well in the blue wall states, in the Rust Belt, but she's got a chance in the Sun Belt that Biden didn't have. North Carolina, Georgia, Nevada, and Arizona. I don't know that we should be counting her out in those Rust Belt states, because it's looking pretty tight there too.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of ironic that Trump may be fighting for the Rust Belt in the end, and she may end up getting the Sun Belt. I mean, in Georgia alone, Trump lost 20% of male voters in the last election. He has a problem connecting with these Republicans who are loyal to Brian Kemp, the governor there, who is no Trump fan. If she selects Senator Mark Kelly from Arizona. I mean, he's a very popular senator who's been good on immigration. He's a Democrat. He's a moderate. He could help her really make some connections in the Sun Belt. And then that could put Arizona back in play, Republicans throwing millions and millions of dollars at it. And who knows? I mean, if there would be no other option for Trump if she wins the Sun Belt than to win Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. And he lost Pennsylvania by 0.5 percentage point last election, Michigan too. But maybe J.D. Vance, who he picked specifically to work those voters, may be able to do some magic. We'll see.
You know how much my family and I love our dogs, even my sweet Strudwick. I can't imagine life without them. They have a great life, but some dogs are not so fortunate. And that is why I'm so glad to tell you about Delta Rescue, the largest no-kill, care-for-life animal sanctuary in the world. They've rescued thousands of dogs, plus cats and horses too. They provide all of these animals with shelter, safety, and most of all, love. And they've been doing it now for more than 45 years. Delta Rescue relies solely on contributions to stay open, and giving can bring tax benefits to you as well. So speak with your estate planner about how you could grow your estate while helping these animals in need. Check out the estate planning tab on their website if you want to learn more. We love our Thunder and Strudwick. Delta Rescue can help you share your love for animals by helping the pups and other animals who need it most. Visit deltarescue.org today to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.